If there is a machine that can already do your job faster than you, more accurately than you, if it can plan your week with fewer mistakes, if it can write emails better and more coherent than you, more diplomatically than you, if it can make decisions faster and more strategically accurate than you can, then why are we here? What is left for us to do in the era of AI? And this is not meant to be a dramatic thought experiment. What I'm asking are very real, practical questions that more people are going to encounter in 2026, because 2026 isn't the year that AI arrives in all industries. It is actually when AI disappears into the background. What this means is that it's going to stop feeling like technology and it's going to start behaving like an invisible system, something that is running behind and underneath everyday life. And it will be coordinating things very quietly in the background. It won't ask for attention. It won't ask for its place on social media. It will just be running without anyone noticing. And when something becomes invisible, it becomes very powerful. So, what's going to happen? So here, let me give you my personal um, something personal for a moment. So, 20 years ago, when my heart stopped working and I had a massive heart attack and they couldn't stabilize me, that was my internal system shutting me down. It was one of the main components that kept me going and it stopped working. So I survived that very serious heart event. And when you have lived through something like that, your priorities begin to change immediately. You see the world through a different lens. You begin to understand what's important and what's urgent. You tend to stop caring about surface level trends. Um, what really keeps you going is what keeps you alive, and how to stay in your healthiest state, how to keep your mindset um, positive and happy, and how to make, and this is something that I learned very, very quickly, and I have honed it over the years, is how to make good decisions under pressure that are strategic, thinking ahead, one step, two steps, even three steps ahead. So, why do I tell you this? Why am I bringing in my story when we're talking about AI here? Here's why. Because what I see happening globally right now is not just a tech trend. AI is not a passing fad. It is going to be a decision crisis very, very soon. And we're going to have too many options. We're going to have too much information, and the speed is going to exponentially grow faster, where most people will not be able to keep up with all of the new things that are happening. I can see it happening, it's unraveling before us. So, we are already living in a time where I'm finding people are living in a constant overwhelm. Their ability to choose is beginning to break down because there are so many things happening at once. Let's just take the news for one moment. If you open up a news app or you open up social media, the amount of commentary and stories that don't even align with each other on the same topic is unreal. Who do you believe? What side do you listen to? What is actually the real story behind the headline? No one knows anymore. It's conspiracy theories. It's reality. Oh no, this is the true story. Do we actually know what's even real? Then we're seeing images and even video that could be real, but it could be AI generated. How do we know? So here's what I want to talk about today. And I think it may be the most important podcast I have done all year long. And I am going to walk through 7 predictions that I have for 2026. They're not going to be based on hype. They're not going to be based on speculation and guessing. They are going to be based on patterns that I have been researching all through 2025. So let's not forget, I did write a book on AI at the beginning of 2024. And the reason I wrote it is because I realized that so many people don't really understand what AI is, how quickly and exponentially it can grow, how it can help you in your life, in your business, but also how to remain human. I give you some apps that you can use to make your life easier. I show you how you can actually use it as a tool rather than taking over what you do. So, what I'd like to do today is I'm going to use one industry which everyone knows, everyone loves, and I'm going to give you sort of a window into how I see 2026 unfolding through the context of this one industry, and it's travel. I really haven't met anyone to date who doesn't love to travel. Now, whether that means that you are traveling within your own country or you are choosing to travel abroad, most people love travel. And so, therefore, you're going to understand a lot of the examples that I give you that you will start to see the direction that AI is taking us. And the travel industry, because you understand it so well, you will begin to truly see what modern life is and how it's unfolding before us. Because travel really shows us all of the cracks first. So there's uncertainty around travel, there's time pressure, money decisions, identity checks, customer service failures, and decision fatigue. Where do I go? How do I get there? What hotel should I stay in? All of these things, the airline, how many stopovers, how many layovers. If you truly want to understand what's coming in 2026 with regards to work, health, money, and your daily life, watch what's happening in travel. And it's going to give you a really good window into the other parts of how we live right now. Halfway through this episode, I'm going to walk you through a framework that I built called Direction DNA. And it's basically a simple audit designed to help you stay the one in the driving seat. I don't want you to hand over everything to AI. I love AI. I think it's an amazing tool, but I don't want us to lose the uniqueness of what makes us human to AI, which is going to be an inevitability for some people who are using it as a crutch instead of a tool. In no way is this episode about fear. It is about preparation because, as I said, I can see where everything is going. I read a lot. I listen to a lot. I research a lot. Maybe it's because I was a past professor, but it's just what I love to do in my spare time. So there's a lot of knowledge behind this episode today. So stick with me because it is going to be a wild one. So 7 predictions for 2026. And we can all gather here a year from today to see what actually happened and did they come true. I have a feeling that they are. So, welcome back, everyone, to a Mindset Medicine podcast. I am Katharine Loucaidou. I am your host, and we talk about mindset, we talk about growth, we talk about business and AI. We talk about how to remain human in this AI era that is unfolding right in front of us. It is not this thing that's just going to happen upon us. It is here. And I would love for you to walk through it with me so that I can give you all the tips, strategies, and tactics that you will need to remain who you are and to not give up your creativity, to not give up your voice, to not give up your decision making to a machine. We're going to let the machine take over the menial tasks, the simple tasks, the stuff that we don't want to do. But we're going to remain the creative individuals that we are. So, before we proceed, let's clean up some of the language that we're going to be talking about, because right now there are some words that are being thrown about in the headlines, on social media, in articles that you read about AI. So we are going to hear words like AI. We're going to hear AI agents. We're going to hear agentic AI. And we're going to hear a lot about automation. And the way that these words are thrown about, it is under the assumption that everyone understands what they are. Everyone understands what they mean. And I don't think everyone does. So I would like to explain these to you today in hopes that as I talk more about all of these different things that are happening in the travel industry and so on, you'll begin to understand just how quiet AI is going to be working in the background. So, AI is a super pattern finder. It is not human. It doesn't have feelings. Although it may appear that it really gets you when you talk to, for example, ChatGPT or Grok or Claude or any of these LLMs, large language models that you use, in fact, it is just reading the code of the letters that you are typing in there. So let's really understand that. What AI is unbelievable at doing are finding patterns, patterns of behavior, patterns of sequences, patterns of actions. So, for example, humans learn patterns very slowly. As a child, you touch a hot stove, your finger hurts, your brain connects stove, hot, don't touch. Really quite simple. But it sometimes will take one or two or three times that a child will touch that stove to remember that it's hot, it will hurt my finger. AI learns patterns similarly, but they learn it immediately. So instead of one experience, it is learning from millions of experiences at the same time. It will recognize things like weather patterns that cause delays. It can recognize when customers behave a certain way before canceling a trip. It understands when certain questions mean something else. It can read through the lines. It can understand when specific sequences lead to a predictable outcome. As humans, we are relying on our mind and its capacity. We have a capacity to remember. AI has no capacity of memory. I mean, I'm sure at some point it does, but we typically don't reach it in a single day. So if you think about on an everyday basis, if you're talking to people, you begin to notice patterns of behavior with some of the people. Let's take your work environment. Have you noticed that some of those people have a pattern of behavior? Maybe it's every Friday around noon. Maybe they start to feel unwell. and they need to leave early. Maybe that another Friday, their child is sick and they need to leave early. But there always seems to be this pattern occurring to what they do. Maybe it's going constantly on washroom breaks and coffee breaks and smoke breaks so that they lessen their workday. You know these people that I'm talking about. So it's a pattern of behavior. What AI can do is it can grab that pattern of behavior far faster than we would ever recognize it. So let's shift now as we move into 2026. Most people still think that AI is just something that you are chatting with, right? You're going to have a question, or maybe you want to learn the history of something that you don't remember, or you're wanting to gather research across the internet. So you put into ChatGPT, explain to me this, or find me competitors in this industry. Maybe you're going to it for health advice. You received some blood tests and you want ChatGPT to explain them to you or give you a recipe. Very simple, simple questions and commands that you've got of it. However, AI is actually moving in 2025 from just talking with you to 2026 to doing things for you, actually doing. Here is a simple framework that will make the rest of this episode very easy to follow. There are 3 layers of AI. Layer 1 is the visible layer that you can see. This is the one that you have been using. You've been typing into ChatGPT, getting your answers, moving along, asking for help to write an email, asking for ideas for a social media post. This has been you talking to it. Layer 2 is background AI. This is where AI is quietly working behind the scenes, supporting you without demanding your attention. So, if you have noticed recently, most of these AI platforms started having extra tags called extended thinking or deep research or shopping. If you've ever pressed any of those additional buttons, you're going to understand what I mean by it will start doing the research and it will tell you, I will notify you when I am done. So it is now working in the background while you go ahead and do other things and does your research for you on your behalf. Layer 3 is the decision-making AI. Now listen very carefully. This is where AI doesn't just suggest things for you, it will take action based on rules that you have approved in advance. Okay, one more time. Layer 3 is the decision making AI, where the AI won't just suggest things for you. For example, if you go on to ChatGPT right now and you say, I'm looking for a new pair of winter boots. I'm looking for tall leather riding boots. I need size 8. I want them in a light brown color. I want it with a low heel. And I want you to send me the links to all of the boots that you find that match that description. AI will scrape the internet and it will look for those boots that you just described to it, or you can upload a photo. It will then come back after a couple of minutes and it will give you links to all of the boots that it found for you that match that description you gave it. I know because I try everything before I tell you about it. So, layer 3 AI will go beyond that step and it will actually purchase the boots that it thinks you need. But you have already given it pre-approval to use your credit card for certain purchases, right? So it's not acting completely on its own, but it is decision making. It is not just going out and finding research now. This is where, when you hear the words AI agent or you hear agentic AI, this is what that means. It is a chatbot like you've been doing on ChatGPT or these other platforms, who was originally giving advice and will now become like an assistant saying, I understand exactly what you're looking for, and I'll handle this for you. And it's going to go off and handle it for you. The travel industry is the easiest place that we are going to see this transition from. It used to be a travel agent helping you. Then we moved into people can independently go on platforms like Expedia or booking.com and book their own travel. We are now going to go one step beyond that, and you can have an AI agent going ahead and booking your entire trip for you. So, the most powerful AI in 2026 will not be loud. It will not be flashy like all of these new platforms that we were introduced to in 2024 and 2025. It will not interrupt you constantly. It will not ask for your attention every 5 minutes. If you've ever had a chat with ChatGPT, it says, would you like me to turn this into a PDF? Would you like me to do this? It won't be doing that because it's already going to know what you're looking for. So it's going to handle it for you. We can call this calm tech instead of disruptive tech. So let's walk through what this would look like. Let's take the example of a busy holiday weekend. In the traditional way that we would have planned a vacation over a holiday weekend, you are going to check the weather. You're going to refresh your email. You're going to open the airline app on your phone or on your computer. You are going to Google backup flights to see what else is available, plan A, plan B, different carriers that could take you to your destination. You're wondering whether you should leave early. Should you leave at midday? Should you take a night flight, right? Get the red eye and not have so many people on the flight, or maybe not have to walk through busy airports because you don't want to get sick. Whatever that looks like for you. You arrive at the airport and then you get a notification that the gate has changed or the flight is delayed. And then you start scrambling, like, what am I going to do? I'm going to miss my next flight, right? Or maybe you have children with you. So all of these scenarios, have you ever experienced them? Probably you have. So essentially, it's not the greatest travel experience I'm finding anymore. I know 10 years ago and 15 years ago and 20 years ago, I've been traveling back and forth to Europe for most of my life, actually. So 50 plus years, I have been traveling back and forth, Canada, Europe, and many other countries around the world, into Dubai and South America. So I've had my share of diverted flights and canceled flights and layovers. All of these things are exactly as I just mentioned to you. In this world, in this new world, with AI as your assistant agent, let me show you what that would look like now. While you're having breakfast, okay, so you're sitting around a table, you're having your breakfast, you're drinking your coffee, AI is quietly in the background doing the following things. It is monitoring the weather along your route. Maybe you're taking a road trip, doesn't have to be in the air. It's tracking airport congestion and aircraft rotation issues, right? The other airline wasn't able to come in on time, so now the next plane is delayed. It's recognizing the delay patterns and why they're happening. Was it weather related? Is it because there's congestion? Maybe there was an accident at the airport. It is already checking alternative flights that match your preferences, the airline, the seats, the timing, and the costs. It is holding the best backup option for you without charging you. It's just holding it there because it knows how to do that. And instead of 20 notifications letting you know what it's doing at each step along the way, you will get one calm message. Your flight is trending toward a long delay. I have held an earlier option that still matches your preferences. I can switch you in 30 seconds. Approve? That's it. And if you approve, it doesn't suggest other things. It goes ahead and it books the new flight for you. It will then adjust your calendar. It will then adjust your pickup times if you have someone picking you up. It can notify your partner or any parties that have been involved in your travel plans. It will refresh your boarding passes and it will adjust your hotel check-in. Can you imagine this? You don't even have to imagine it because it's already here. And this is what we're going to be seeing in 2026. When you arrive at the airport, instead of being met with chaos, you are going to be met with a summary on your phone. You've been checked in, your gate is confirmed, the security wait time is 12 minutes long. Here is the fastest route for you to get to your gate. I'm prepared to file a report if your baggage is missing. It can even tell you where you can pick up your coffee along the way and likely order it for you if it's, for example, through the Starbucks app. That is what I mean by when I say the AI will handle it for you. It is as if you are going to have a personal assistant, but this personal assistant is connected internally to all of these other systems, and they'll all be speaking to each other. It sounds magical. It sounds like a Star Trek episode from so many years ago, except that it's already happening. Once people begin to experience what traveling in this calm, organized way, what you're going to find is that they're going to want it everywhere else. They're going to want to see that in the healthcare industry. They're going to want to see that in their work environments. They're going to want to see that in banking. They're going to want to see that in their daily administrative task, because that's what happens. If we can see something working somewhere else, then why can't I have it working here? So that is where I want to ground this for a moment, because if all of this just sounds like it's too good to be true, 12 hours ago, Facebook, which is now called Meta, just acquired Manus, which is an AI agent company focused on agentic execution, not conversation. Think about this for a moment. One of the largest, most expensive companies in the world right now, which is Meta, as you know it to be Facebook, has just bought one of the largest AI agent companies. Why would they do that? Because this is where we are headed. And so rather than create their own ecosystem of AI agents within their company, they just decided to go out and buy the top company that's out there that has already been doing this for years, but nobody was interested because nobody understood how to make the connections happen behind the scenes. When a company like Facebook or Meta, touches billions of daily interactions and invests in AI that can now plan and coordinate and act in the background, it is a clear signal of where the infrastructure of the way we interact is going. Do you use Facebook? How long have you been using it for? The ecosystem of how you even interact with people has changed because of Facebook and Instagram, which Facebook also owns, Meta. They also own WhatsApp. Do you see this connection? They understand the direction that we're going. So I wanted you to understand the direction that we're going, even though it just sounds so unreal. So once AI begins to assist quietly, the next step then becomes inevitable, and it will start handling tasks end to end, just from you explaining what it is that you're looking for. So let's go to prediction number 2. So that was prediction 1, agentic agents, AI agents, who are now going to be handling things on your behalf. Prediction 2. And this is where many people feel both excited and a little bit uneasy. And this is where AI agents will begin to go mainstream. An agent is going to be a task finisher. So, what that means in travel is that we are going to move from here are 20 options. Right now, if you go into ChatGPT or any other AI basically, and you say, I want to go on a vacation, I want to go to a beach destination, I want to go in February when it's cold, and I want it to have, blonde, white sand, beautiful turquoise waters. I want there to be a nice hotel that's all inclusive. And you give your list. What does it do? It's going to come back to you with about 6 destinations, about 5 hotel options for each destination. So now you're looking at a list of about 30 options. So there you are, still overwhelmed, trying to figure out what to do. This is where we're moving to. So this is now going to be a new option for you. Instead of here are 20 options, it's going to say to you, tell me what matters to you most, and I will build your trip. So you say something like 7 days, Japan, food and culture, not rushed, walkable neighborhoods, unforgettable days. The agent will immediately start building you an itinerary that will include flights, hotels, timing, weather-aware suggestions, reservations, documents, and it will adjust as reality happens. This is not just this computer interface that you're going to be dealing with anymore. It's going to be a trust relationship. In 2026, people are going to stop asking AI to help, and they're going to start letting it handle their tasks for them. This is essentially where the idea behind this podcast, Mindset Medicine, comes in, because convenience is not automatically a good thing for humans. It sounds like a great thing. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I don't have to sort through all these destinations and hotels and everything. Yes, in some ways, it will be incredible. But what happens when every small decision that we have been making over the years disappears? Let me tell you what happens. Some people are going to become sharper, and some people are going to become softer. It will build you the most efficient life that you have ever experienced in your life. But is efficiency fulfillment? So here is prediction number 3. So prediction number 2 is it will start handling decisions for you. And it's going to make your life really easy. Prediction 3. In 2026, buying is going to become less like shopping and more like just approving. So you will give your AI limited permission under specific rules that you will create for it. For example, it's actually not that much different than if you trade stocks. If you've ever tried to trade stocks independently on your own, on an app that they do have available, you have the option of setting limits, right? You want to be notified when the stock share drops below a certain level. Even on Google, if you want to watch flights, you can tell Google to email you whenever the flight price changes. You can do the same thing with AI, and you're going to give it these parameters. So, for example, if this flight drops below this price, go ahead and reserve it. If this hotel meets all of my criteria and the price point that I have set, book it. If we are low on this item at home, go ahead and reorder it. Now, you may say, but how would it know if you're low on things? Well, there are fridges now that can connect to Bluetooth on your phone to AI that can just watch your fridge, notice when you're getting low on things, and it will order it for you. Futuristic, I know, but it does exist. All of this can be amazing, and it will definitely help you. Spending will become effortless. Standards, you can have your standards, they'll become non-negotiable, and the AI will just adhere to your standards. So all of this is prediction 3, which is the invisible economy, because there will be an invisible force called AI working behind the scenes and doing your research for you, booking your travel for you, ordering your food for you, if you wish, booking your hotels, calling your Ubers, whatever it is that you need. The invisible economy is my prediction number 3. Prediction number 4 is that identity will become another layer. So travel taught us that identity is really important. In 2026, identity, payment, and access will all begin to merge together. Life will become smoother, but the idea of trust, that is probably something that will take humans longer to create with AI. Let me ask you, how willing will you be to hand over your credit card to your AI agent to make your bookings for you? Probably your first thought when I just said that to you right now is, oh no, I am not handing over my credit card to AI. So let me ask you, if you already have your credit card sitting on an app like Amazon or any of the other shopping apps, if you have it sitting on your Starbucks app where it says, would you like to reload your card? It's already there. The only difference is that you'll get a prompt that says, would you like to approve this? And you're going to say yes or no. You're already halfway there. I just don't think that you put two and two together to realize it. So, what's really important for this prediction is sovereignty of your decisions, right? You still want to be the ultimate provider of the decision making process rather than just letting it go and giving it to AI. So let's move on to health. How will health change? Well, when we have AI running in the background, imagine all of the ways that the health system going into the hospital emergency, if AI is scheduling the backlog and how patients are moving around, who they're going to, at what stage they're at, isn't it possible that there will be a lesser chance of mistakes happening, of a patient being forgotten, like we had here in Canada last week, where the patient waited for 8 hours in the ER and then he died before the doctors could help him. All of these things, which are human error, could be erased. Isn't that a good thing if we could have AI recognizing the patterns of behavior and adjusting them so they would become smoother? Wouldn't it be amazing to have AI looking at the patterns of people's health over the last 50 years and being able to let you know 10 years in advance of you getting a disease or cancer or anything else that would completely disrupt your life? Wouldn't you want to know 10 years in advance that you could be susceptible to that? So, what people need to remember is that by having all of this help with AI, you are going to have more information and data at your fingertips. The question is, will that data create more anxiety for you? What do you do with it all? Do you go back and discuss it with AI? Do you go back? Who do you discuss it with? What do you do with it? So, what's interesting is that we are going to move into an era in 2026 where the skill is not going to be learning and using these tools. The skill is going to be staying calm, cool, and collected while you use them. And it's going to say, do you still make the decisions behind which tools you're using and why you are using them? Are you clear on the reasons why you are using certain tools in your business? Are you clear on the direction that you want to be going in life before AI can help you handle those decisions? That is the reason that I created Direction DNA. I believe that the winners in 2026 will not be the people with the most AI tools. They're going to be the people who have the clearest direction forward. And what's going to happen is AI is going to model that in your mind because it's going to give you so many options. It's going to give you so many ways to handle those options. How will you know which one to choose to go forward? What I did is I've created a diagnostic. I have created a diagnostic to help you figure out what your 2 to 3 options are for this next coming year. What direction do you want to go? Do you want to stay on the path that you're on and you feel like you're kind of battling against the current right now, it feels like everything is really hard to move forward. Do you pivot and go in a new direction? Start something from scratch, not really sure where it's going to go? Or is there a third option? Do you go in a completely different way? Change up what you're doing. Maybe change the audience, the industry of whatever it is that you happen to be doing. Maybe you're a corporate executive and you think, you know what? It's just time. It is time to me to move on to what's next. But what if you're not sure what next looks like? What if it's still not really clear to you? That's why I created this free diagnostic. I want people to keep their decision-making skills, but I want to help you make them faster because the world is moving so fast. How do you keep it all together? How do you not get overwhelmed and anxious? Like, what AI tool do I use? Which way do I even want to go? Where do I see myself living 1 year from now, 2 years from now? I will help you figure that out. I've created the diagnostic. And if you like what that looks like, then I can help you simulate. We're going to pressure test the 2 to 3 lanes that you want to go down. I have created an AI that will simulate the next 12 months of your journey. So you don't even have to make the mistake and walk down the path. It will walk it for you. It will tell you what the likely outcome is. And then you get to decide if that looks like the right decision for you. It's like seeing the future without having to walk it and make all those mistakes. So if you would like to try just the free diagnostic, less than 60 seconds to see if you're on the right track in the decisions that you've been making, I will leave the link below for you, both in this YouTube video and in the podcast. How does this feel to you right now? How does AI feel? Does it feel like it's, oh my God, Katharine, this is kind of weird and scary? Are you feeling comfortable? If you need help, that is what I'm here for. 2026 is when I am going to be helping people to understand all of this, how to implement it into your lives and businesses, and how to make the best decisions for you and your family, so that overwhelm is not a part of 2026. Only momentum and success and health and happiness, because really that is what's most important here. Please share this episode. If you think that you have a friend or a family member who should be aware of the direction that everything is going right now in society, because honestly, I know it sounds crazy when we say it out loud, but it's all true. And we can see the largest companies out there are already capitalizing on it. So how about we get ahead of it? How about I show you that path forward? If you are watching this before New Year, Happy New Year. It is going to be a great year. You just need to understand it all, embrace it, and then know how to navigate this going forward. And if you're watching this after the new year, I still want to wish you a really great 2026. And I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Please like and subscribe if you have found this helpful. And don't forget the link below will take you to the Direction DNA diagnostic snapshot. And it'll just tell you where you're at in your decision-making process, how you're doing. Bye for now.